Well, the committee never fails to shock and disappoint me. Notre Dame gets left out at number 11. And at the end of the day, I'm not going to be a sore loser about it. Like, if you're ND, don't lose 2 games at the beginning of the year and you're probably in. But it's just funny because, if Miami or Bama got left out, they'd be whining and crying about not getting in despite how good of a team they are. And I have no doubt that Notre Dame would beat pretty much everyone in the field except probably Georgia, Indiana, and Ohio State. But you lose 2 games at the beginning of the year, and that could cost you. Like I said it all along. I don't know if I said it on this channel, but I said it personally. Like, if Notre Dame loses 2, or after they lost the 2, I told you they were going to run the schedule, run the table, and win the rest of their games. And then it was going to be up to the committee, depending on where they're ranked. But if you're Notre Dame, the best case scenario played out yesterday. So there was probably just no way for them to get in. And they did. And what I'm pissed off about with the committee is that they did this whole song and dance with having Miami behind Notre Dame. Like, dude, if you're going to do it, just do it now. Like, there's no reason. None of it makes sense. Honestly, none of it makes sense in terms of, like, what the criteria is. I don't know. I really am trying to wrap my mind around it. And I thought that I figured it out last night. I thought I unlocked the key. And I figured because Bama lost in every other single case in the history of the college football playoff, a team has lost after losing their conference championship. Hasn't mattered the score, by 1, by 2, by 3. This is the first instance ever in college football playoff history where a team has lost their conference championship and not moved down. And this was not a close game. Bama got physically dominated. They got embarrassed. They lost by 21. It should have been by 28. And they did not move a single spot. Well, BYU lost and they got moved down, and UVA lost and they got moved down. So it's kind of clear to me that the committee had their mind made up before the weekend. They were going to put Miami and Notre Dame in. And they're not going to say that. And I'm not even saying that's necessarily wrong. Like, I understand why Miami and Bama are in over Notre Dame. The way they went about it is second grade level. Like, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense. How do you drop BYU and UVA but not Bama? And the whole reason they didn't drop Bama was so that Miami and Notre Dame would be compared side by side, and then they flip. Despite the fact that they have been in the same pod for weeks now, and they have said that the head-to-head has been a significant factor, and they have not ranked Miami above Notre Dame. But, oh, yes, it makes sense. The 1 week they don't play, let's switch them. Yeah, that makes sense. The 1 week they don't play at all. The 1 week where the only thing that could have benefited either team was Boise State winning, which helped Notre Dame. So, to me, it's clear that they had their mind made up all along. And it's also clear to me that social media heavily influenced this in terms of swaying Miami into the playoffs, because the Miami fans just were clamoring on social media nonstop, saying, "We beat Notre Dame. Don't disregard the 2 losses to terrible ACC teams and the fact that we didn't make the ACC championship, but we beat Notre Dame week 1." And I guarantee you, if you ask most of them, the non-delusional fans, they'll tell you that Notre Dame would beat Miami if they play today. It's kind of obvious. But again, I'm not like, hey, Notre Dame, if you want to make the playoff, you win your games. I'm not one of these Miami fans that would have been blaming the committee for bias against Notre Dame, this and that. I don't think there's a vendetta going on. I think it's kind of crazy that we have ADs running this of other schools. Yeah, I think that's a little crazy. And I think they should get non-biased people in there to actually rank them. But I don't think it was a vendetta against Notre Dame. Like, I think it was the not losing. I think it was not punishing a team for losing their conference championship and the head-to-head that carried the day. And I would be fine with that if it just made sense the way they went about it. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, just put BYU ahead of. The whole thing too is they didn't want to put BYU ahead of Notre Dame because then if BYU lost, they'd be out of the field after being in it. So they strategically put Bama 9, Notre Dame 10, BYU 11, Miami 12, so that when BYU lost, they're going to drop down for sure. But we won't drop Bama. We won't drop Bama because we need Bama to stay there so Notre Dame and Miami can be compared, and then we flip them. That's what they did. And the whole reason I told you, everyone, that Notre Dame was definitely in last night was because they had been logically consistent the entire time up until now. And this week has showed me that the committee absolutely failed at their job in terms of consistency and like just how they're ranking these teams. It's not the result, it's how they got there that is the huge issue. And yeah, this might be the worst committee I've ever seen. And again, I'm not saying that because I'm a Notre Dame fan. I completely understand putting Miami in. It's how you get there. You have Miami behind Notre Dame for weeks. And then the 1 week they both don't play, you flip them. This doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. But is what it is. Like, no, again, you gotta win your games. It's just how CFB is. I will be cheering. Who will I be cheering for in this playoff? I hate most of these teams. I want to see Indiana win. I think that'd be sick. Indiana or Texas Tech. I hope every other team gets demolished by 100. And oh my gosh, I cannot wait to play Miami in South Bend next year. I think they might run 50 up on them. I'm not even kidding. It is going to be a bloodbath, that game. And yeah, after this whole thing, I mean, Miami is my new least favorite fan base. It's really all the ACC. I can't stand the ACC. Notre Dame's got to get out of that as soon as possible. Out of that deal or whatever, because the ACC is just full of a bunch of crybabies. I mean, Florida State, Clemson, if something doesn't go their way, they don't look at what they could have done differently as a team. They look at whose fault is it? Oh, the CFP hates the ACC or stuff like that. Like, it is full of a bunch of crybabies that have no accountability. I think most of the Notre Dame fan base has accountability. Don't lose your first 2 games. I don't care if it was by 4 points to 2 good teams. Like, win your games. We didn't, and it's a hard lesson that Marcus Freeman's going to have to learn. You didn't learn it the first time, and we ended up going to the Natty. You learned it this time, and we'll see how we bounce back next year. Hopefully we can get out of September undefeated, but yeah, this committee makes no sense. I really just don't understand it. And again, I don't want to get this twisted. I'm not salty that Notre Dame didn't make it. I understand why they didn't make it. It's the way they got there. Like, the whole reason I said that it was going to be Notre Dame 9, Bama 10, was because in the entire history of college football, of the college football playoff rankings, a team has always dropped after losing their conference championship at least one spot. And I thought they created that buffer there. That way Bama could drop one spot, not get out of the playoff, and then there's that buffer between Notre Dame and Miami. But they had some whack job thing that they did, and I don't even get it. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. They retroactively ranked the first 8 teams, and then they looked at the next 3 and ranked 10, then 11, and then 9. Instead of going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Because if you rank it regularly, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, logically Notre Dame would be 9. I don't know. I'm not going to spend all day trying to figure out and get inside of the committee's head. I got a life to live and a body to feed, so I'm going to go get some food. But, geez, like, I don't know. And for everyone trying to expand the playoff, please, no, that is not the solution. Expanding the playoff is literally going to do nothing. It's the criteria that need to be fixed. And we need to decide what we're going to do with conference championship games, because all these people are so nearsighted that they eliminated the auto bids for conference champions, which devalued them further to the point where I don't even know what they mean. Like, just doesn't make sense, guys. All right, I'll see ya. Go Irish. We'll see what Pop-Tarts Bowl we're playing in against BYU, Michigan, Vandy, Texas. I don't know. So we'll see.